win that third consecutive world title.
She is going for her 6th 100 world title, her 3rd in a row.
The Jamaicans swept this event last year in Eugene. Dina Asher-Smith was 4th.
Richardson.
2 of those Jamaicans, the top 2 on the podium, Fraser Price, the world champion, and Jackson, are back. Does anybody else from the rest of the world have an answer for what the Jamaican women have done to this event at Worlds?
On the far left of your screen is Sha'carri Richardson in her first world final. She has to get a better start than what she got in the semi.
She's got to have a much better start, because at least then she gives herself a chance. This is a world championship final. You're not going to run down people if you give them too much of a lead.
The 2 Jamaicans in the middle, Sharika Jackson, and then Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Julian Alfred on their outside. Blue top, black bottoms.
Set.
Women's 100 world final. The Jamaicans get out well. It's Sharika Jackson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Talu. Here comes Sha'carri Richardson. Sha'carri's done it. Sha'carri Richardson has won the world title. She had to come from behind in the semi, but when it counted, she has done it. Sha'carri Richardson has stunned the sprinting world and is a world champion.
That's a world championship record, a personal best, but short memory, Lee. After a bad semifinal, she recovered and ran the race necessary to upset the Jamaicans and wrest the world title back from Jamaica. It's back in the United States' hands for the first time since 2017.
That was the race of Sha'carri's life, and she delivered. The United States sweep the 100-meter finals. Noah Lyles in the men's, Sha'carri in the women's.
That was something. From the outside lane, she had to overcome 40 years of history. There's never been a man or a woman to make a final on time and then win the world title in the 100 meters. That's what Sha'carri Richardson just did.
She's stunned. She's shocked. She can't believe it. Maybe the semi is taking her down that path, but now it's starting to set in.
There are fans of Sha'carri Richardson that have been waiting on this moment for 4 years, but she has delivered for them this evening in Hungary.
Remember what she did and what she said at the US National Championships. She took a hairpiece off, a wig, and threw it behind her. She said, that's the past. I'm different now, and you watch on this outside lane.
She had a much better reaction to the gun and acceleration than she did in the semifinal, so that put her close. And then when the Jamaicans started to lean for the line, Sha'carri had already had enough momentum where she was going to catch them before the line. So a championship record, a personal best. Sha'carri just became one of the fastest women ever.
Watch Sharika Jackson. She looks across. She couldn't believe it. Watch Jackson at the head of the field there. She looks over here and says, oh boy, somebody else was ahead of me.
Shades of 1976 in the Olympic 100-meter men's final. Hazley Crawford on the outside upsets Donald Quarry of Jamaica in the 100. This looked a lot like that. This is such an amazing race, and it's made even better by the fact that she did it from the outside lane.
And there is the realization that she is the best in the world. Sha'carri Richardson, world champion.
That has to feel good.
This has been a long and at times problematic road, and she has risen above all of the challenges. Look at that. Championship record to go along with a championship title.
This is Sha'carri's first time being on the world stage. She has a subpar semifinal, scrapes into the final, gets lane 8, and responds like that. She's here to stay. Excuse me, lane 9. She's on the outside.
Team USA are going to Paris 2024 with the men's and women's 100-meter world champions.
Wow.
If you're one of those ones who've been asking, how's the US doing now? They're doing just good. They're doing just fine.
They're doing just fine at these championships. These two used to train together, so they are celebrating. But this has to be a bit of a shock for Sha'carri Jackson. I don't think she came into this race thinking that somebody on the far outside would beat her, but that's exactly what Sha'carri Richardson accomplished.
There were moments of shock, surprise, not disbelief, but just like, I really just did that. I really just did that. And now it's sinking in for Sha'carri.
Well, it can't be a rivalry if only one side is winning. And the Jamaicans have been dominating this event for just about 6 years now. Guess what? The pendulum just swung right back to the United States.
Wonderful post-race scenes by the three best in the world.
There have been peaks and lots of valleys for Sha'carri Richardson over the last 4 seasons. She turns pro in 2019, doesn't make the team. She wins the Olympic trials in 2021, and of course, with the cannabis positive, doesn't get to go to Tokyo. Last year, she does not get out of the first round at US Nationals. So what she did this year is not just overcome her recent history, she has completely changed the fortunes of the American women in this event now. And somewhere I have to think that Tori Bowie is loving this.
The last world champion for Team USA in the 100, the late Tori Bowie. And Sha'carri joins the likes of Carmelita Jeter, of Tori, of Lauren Williams, Marion Jones, Gwen Torrance, and Gail Devers as US world champions.
Well, Sha'carri, you sat in the Q room after your semifinal with a time of 10:84, and then you qualified to the final, and you did something that no one in the history of the sport has ever done. You won a world title off of a qualifying time. What did it mean to cross the line and look up and see that you had won the world championship?
It meant so much. It meant the people that supported me, the people that believed in me, my family. Just knowing that hard work pays off. It's been a lot I've been going through, but to overcome all of that and my work speaking for itself, being so silent this year because I wanted my performance to speak all the words that I needed to speak myself, it feels amazing. It feels like everything that paid off, and I'm grateful.
Paid off, it did. If you could, let's just go back to the start. Take us back to the start in the blocks and tell us how you navigated this thing from the start to the finish line out in lane 9.
Out in lane 9, I was in my own world. And I think for myself, being my biggest, being my biggest, just focusing in on myself is the biggest thing that I know I need to pay attention to. Not just focusing in on me and knowing that I know I can do what I need to do in order to perform and just blocking out everything else. So being in lane 9, that's my number 2. It was fantastic for me, just knowing that I just need to focus in on my start, and then everything else does it for itself.
How did you improve that start from the semifinal to the final? Because it was definitely better.
My mindset, shaking off the nerves, just knowing that I've done this before, and it's just another race. Not putting the pressure of world championships on it, but just showing that this is just another race. This is what I've been training for all season long, not even just this season, all my life. And I'm grateful.
And right here, as you were waiting to see if it was you, what was that feeling?